The following is an audio interview between law enforcement and those who witnessed the tragic incident at the 2021 Waukesha Christmas Parade when Darrell E Brooks drove his mother's red Ford Escape through the parade. 6 people lost their lives that day, more than 70 sustained injuries, and the numbers of those emotionally traumatized is beyond the hundreds. While most of the descriptions contained in this video are not graphic in nature, some may find this audio difficult to listen to. Viewer discretion is advised. Hi everyone, just a quick side note. There are 3 witness testimonies included in this video, and because there are so many, I have to break them down. So this will be part 1 of many.
So just so you're aware, I'm Courtney. I'm from it's a long name, Wisconsin Department of Justice, Division of Criminal Investigation.
Okay.
So we're assisting Waukesha PD with this investigation and talking to witnesses. Pretty much anybody that saw anything. We want to hear what you guys saw. We find it could be a little bit cathartic for you guys as well, being able to tell your story. So I'm going to start out with just getting your name and like your very basic information, and then I can kind of walk you through how it all goes, okay? Don't be nervous. All right. Elizabeth?
Yes, it's
All right. And whereabouts were you watching the parade from?
so you know where El Chocolat is?
I do not.
Okay, so I'm trying to think. It's on Main Street, of course, but there's like an apartment building towards the corner.
Okay.
It's ALLO. Sorry.
No, please. Perfect.
There's like an apartment building right down the street from that, towards like the corner. I don't know what that main street is next to.
Okay.
But I was in front of that apartment building next to it,
Okay, so you're
like where the gym part of that building is. Yeah, I've lived here all my life. Don't know all the street names.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay, so in the general area, so if you're facing Aloe
If you're-
Chocolat,
It would be to the right.
to the right.
Yep. There's like a planter there
Okay.
in front of the apartment building. We were, if you're looking at the planter, to the right of that.
Okay. And who was watching with you?
My mom, my cousin,
Alright.
her spouse. I assume you just want the adults.
Yeah.
Okay. Karen and Everett.
All right, you guys were all there together, and I'm assuming there was children with you since
Yeah.
you had said that earlier.
My
Okay.
2 nephews,
Okay.
and then my cousin's 2 kids, which I also call my nephews. So there was
4 kids with
nephews,
you?
Yeah, nephew and niece. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we're just gonna go through kind of what you saw, and then I'll let you talk we're gonna go from about the point where you realized what was going on or saw something that alerted you to something wasn't right. And then I'm just gonna let you kind of go. And if I have any follow-up questions afterwards, I'll ask you, okay?
Mm.
All right.
So we were kind of just enjoying the parade. I heard the kid next to us, no clue who he is, but he said, the fire is coming, because sometimes they do that, like, I don't know if it's a hot air balloon or something in the basket with the Santa. I
Oh,
don't
okay, yep.
know. It was right after that all of a sudden I just saw a red SUV, like, drive past us, and I was super confused because it's the parade, like, why are you driving fast?
Mhm.
And then the car slowed down and then sped off to the left into the back of the Waukesha South Band.
So the SUV slowed down and then sped up?
Yeah. At least that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
I think sometimes things just happen in slow motion. So at the point of like him coming in front of us, tell me if I'm going too fast.
Nope, go ahead.
At the point of him coming in front of us, I told all the kids to get on the sidewalk because they're all sitting like, right by the curb.
Yeah.
And I ended up actually picking up my one nephew who's like 50 pounds and threw him on the sidewalk. It's crazy what your body does.
Yeah.
So I just put him on the sidewalk and then saw the car plow into the band.
So you said when that red SUV was kind of in front of you.
He like kind of slowed down a little.
Okay.
And I don't know.
Was he on your side of the road at
He
that
was.
point? Okay.
Yeah, I want to say maybe like a foot or two in front of us. Not enough to like run over your feet, but enough to be like, what the heck?
And so then when he sped up, he crossed across
To the
to the
opposite
opposite side of the street, and then that's where he hit the, okay.
Yeah. And then I saw the drummer go flying. We all thought that he turned left and stopped, but of course now you see all the videos of everything and it was not that way. But that's what we thought happened.
And why did you think he went to the left and stopped?
Just because of the direction that he was going, and it was like utter chaos, so you don't, I guess I didn't really pay attention exactly to where he was, but it just looked like he was trying to get to that side road the way he was driving.
All right, so you didn't see anything after he hit the Waukesha South Band? Did you see anybody else get hit besides the drummer?
You know, my mind really was
That's totally
focused on
fine.
that incident particularly, is that he was going at the band.
So with you saying that, in your mind, did you feel like he was going towards the band on purpose, or?
I felt it was intentional,
Okay.
because, I mean, the city police officers put up barricades. I mean, you could have went a different direction, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then for him to come down the street, slow down, and see that there's people, and then just speed up and just go through them anyways, to me that's intentional. Of course, I can't say what he was thinking at the time, but
Right, but it didn't appear to you like he was trying to avoid hitting people.
no, not at all. It literally looked like he was just trying to run over people.
Along those same lines, did you hear him honking or doing anything to like warn people to get out of the way? Anything?
No, I just heard a lot of screaming.
Any yelling from him, trying to tell people to get out of the way? Anything like that? Did you see him at all?
Unfortunately, I did.
Okay, that's fine.
I wish I could say that I did.
No, it's okay. There was a lot going on.
I know, and because of course it's all over the news of who was involved. I wish that I could be that person that says, yes, he did it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because not only for my family's sake, for the community's sake, but also for those who are injured. You know, it would put a lot of that to ease, I guess, to be like, yes, that's who did it. But
Yeah.
I can't just say that because I see him on the news, you know.
Right, and we've been very specific in our in our interviews, just being like, okay, well, we know, even people that did see the driver, okay, well, we know you've now seen him on TV too.
Right.
Can you try and describe him from that night, not what you've seen on TV? And it's kind of hard to separate that for some people, so for you not seeing him, that's totally okay as well.
I watch a lot of crime shows, unfortunately, so no.
Same, but, no, that's okay. What happened after that, after you saw the band get?
So my mom and the kids were kind of huddled towards like the apartment
Okay.
building, because I said get them back as far as you can. And then my mom said Elizabeth gun, because she heard somebody say gun, which now we know what it was.
Mhm.
But in that particular instance, you freak out because
Right.
you don't know who it is. So I yelled at her, get the kids to the car. Luckily, we were only a block away from the car, so she ran with the kids. I grabbed all her stuff and we left.
Okay.
Unfortunately, in that type of instance, when you have nephews, you do not wait to find out what's going on.
No, and I would not question anybody, especially anybody that had children there that just got out of Dodge. That would have, yeah.
It was a very intense night. I ended up taking off 2 days of work
Yeah.
because my body was like still shaking the next day.
I can't even imagine.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
So just hypothetically for court, like how are they gonna like find a jury that doesn't know what's going on?
That's a great question. That is probably going to be a lot of questioning up front.
Because my mom and I were talking about that. Because, of course, because I watch crime shows.
Mhm.
Not that it's like the same, but like I know that you can't have seen anything.
They prefer if you haven't, some things you can't.
Control. I
Control.
mean, this was like national. That's
Yeah.
why I'm like, We're
But
gonna have
both
to go out of
attorneys,
state for
both
it.
attorneys would have an option to question. So it might come down to, okay, can they agree on anybody here, even though you may have seen it, may not have seen it, whatever, what your background is, and kind of go from there. But yeah, they try and get people that haven't,
I'm just
don't know much
curious.
about it. Yeah, no.
You guys must have had my phone number from when I asked where my phone was.
Quite possibly. I'm not sure. So we've been getting a lot of witnesses, kind of like you, through other, or like how we got your family's information through your interview. So if somebody else maybe saw you there, knew that you were there, that type of thing, if you gave it to any kind of an officer there or
I
anybody
did.
like that, yep,
So-
then they're just adding you to the list.
The next day I went, because I lost my phone that night, I
Mhm.
had put it on my car when we got to the car, because my aunt kept calling me, asking me where I was, and I was like, I can't talk, I'm trying to get my kids in the car.
Right.
And forgot that I put it on the hood of the car.
To add insult to
I
your
know.
crappy night.
I know. And then I got to my brother's house because we took them all, we took the kids back to their house and stayed there for a while until things calmed down. And said, I think I lost my phone. And then I went the next day to see if I could get down there because I didn't know if they still had it closed off. And the officer said, go up to, I don't know, whatever the building is across the street.
Okay, yeah.
And I asked the officer, and she's like, no, we haven't found it yet, but if we do, we'll call you. So
Did they find it, or is that a new
they
one?
did.
Oh,
but I
okay.
had already gotten a new one, and she's like, yeah, it looks like somebody ran it over. And my mom was like, it probably was me, because she was driving. I was like, it doesn't matter who it was. It was chaos. It could have been anybody. Even if, like, it fell off the car,
Right.
it could have been anybody.
Right. Absolutely. And that's a good way to look at it. Just
I was like, I can't blame you
if that's
for
the
it.
loss from
That's
you,
what I said,
like,
too. I was
it's a
like,
weird way to think about it, but absolutely.
my poor 4-year-old nephew was like, Auntie, you lost your phone. I'm sorry that somebody ran it over. And I was like, buddy, you're safe. That's what matters. And they had nightmares for like 2 days.
Yeah, I don't know how the kids that saw all of this too. I mean, as adults, it's hard enough to process because you don't understand. And I had one person who said their kid just kept asking, like, or kept saying, I don't understand. And it's like, buddy, the big
He was
people
a bad
don't
guy.
either.
Yeah.
Like, nobody gets it. So it's tough all around. How are you doing?
Better now.
Better now?
I have a counselor.
Okay,
personal
good.
Counselor, so I called her immediately when we were on our way home from my brother's.
Okay.
Told her what was going on, and she's like, all right, this is what's going to happen to your body. This
And she
is
was
what you
right,
need to
wasn't
do."
she?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm much better now. Like,
Good.
I think talking about it at first too really helped. And at first it was I don't understand, like, why did he do this? Was this a terrorist thing? Like, you don't know,
Right.
you know? And then, of course, you start watching everything and start learning that it's not a terrorist attack. They're not coming after your county or whatever.
Yeah.
So that kind of eased it,
Yeah.
you know. to
That it
know
was just a
fluke.
just a
Unfortunately,
one
it
time.
sounds bad, but makes you feel safer.
Because there's not going to be follow up.
Right.
Yeah.
So that helped.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It's still crappy, but it helps.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's crappy.
That's
Anything
a
else?
nice way to put it.
Right. Right.
That's a nice way.
It's recording, so
That's
I can't
my
say what I was going to say. Right. Do you have anything else that you can think of that might be
I
helpful?
don't think so.
Anybody that you gave me names and phone numbers for that you would say like really didn't see anything or
Just Jean, but
Just
Kyle
Jean.
ran into the people to try and help.
okay.
So he might be your best option.
Okay.
Um,
I'm guessing we'll
Yeah.
probably call everybody.
yeah, I'll give him a heads up if you're okay with that.
Well, yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
"Oh."
absolutely, absolutely. And we're not trying to pull extra information out of people. What you saw is what you saw, and what you remember is
Right.
what you remember. And I've been telling everybody, like, what you think is insignificant might be one of the little pieces that we were missing. So, yeah, absolutely. You can let them know that we'll probably be calling in the next couple days.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
I mean, are you calling all witnesses to court? You don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
Okay.
And I think the police department, so we're just assisting the police department in this. The police department will kind of go through, and because a lot of people saw a lot of the same stuff as well, and probably go through and kind of, I don't want to say pick and choose from there, but
No, that's
pick out of
right.
there.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of witnesses, but that's
Well,
not to
and-
say that it wouldn't get to the point where they were like, you know what, we need
Let's
everyone.
pull them all in, yeah.
So,
Well, and the ones like myself who didn't see, it's not really going to help. I mean,
yeah, but you never know. You never know. There might be something where the PD's like, she said something that we needed to know, and
yeah.
that's great. So I don't want to promise that yes, you would be
No,
called, or no,
no.
you wouldn't be called, because there's always a chance. But yeah. Yep.
So,
All right. Well, I will give you one of my business cards in case you think of anything. If you need anything, keep talking to your counselor. Obviously, this is traumatic. It doesn't go away in
yeah,
just
I'm meeting her this week too.
a couple of days. So keep talking and check on your family members too, okay?
Yeah. Thank
All right.
you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so your full name is?
Leonora.
All right, so starting from the beginning, I asked you already, but I'll ask you again.
Yes.
Are you okay? You didn't get injured? No, okay, no one near you got injured?
In our immediate group.
In the immediate group? No, okay. So, just tell me your own words from the beginning. What did you see that day? And then I'll be asking you some questions after that.
Right, so we were sitting, obviously watching the parade, and
Where were you sitting?
we were sitting toward the end of the parade in front of the newer condos, really close to where you pull into park, into those condos.
Okay. Do you remember what the condos are called?
I don't.
You remember the intersection of the street?
No, but you know where the tattoo parlor is? It's a little bit
Waukesha
further-
Tattoo?
I think so. Just
Okay.
a little bit further down, then a little further toward the beginning of the parade route from there.
Okay.
Um,
And who were you with?
I was with my sister Faith, her daughter Kaylee, this one Kennedy, her husband Craig.
The one that's here, right?
Yes, this one here.
Okay.
Faith and Craig. And then my other sister Rebecca and her two daughters.
Okay, so you're standing with
And
all
then
these
one other
people.
person, a cousin.
Oh my
that I don't know
goodness,
that
okay.
name, so there's 15 of us. Yeah,
Okay.
Anyway, so we are, you know, like sitting, and some are on the curb sitting, and some are in chairs, and we're all set, and we're right by a fire hydrant. So we're just on the other side of the fire hydrant, and then all of a sudden we see this, you know. Oh, so then my niece, one of my nieces, and her were taking a picture in the road, and my sister took the picture. But it was just before, it was like 4:28, so just before the truck came. And then in the distance, we see this red truck coming toward us, SUV type vehicle, you know, coming, and we're like, what the heck? You know, you're kind of stunned, trying to figure out what that is.
Is it coming right at you guys or just in your
It's
direction?
coming down the road, yeah,
Okay.
it's just coming down the road at that time, because we saw it pretty early. And then as it got closer to us, saw it hit somebody out of the corner of my eye, saw it hit a man, and then I heard a bang. My sister thinks it was hitting a van, a vehicle, but I don't know if it was the body or
Mhm.
the vehicle it hit. So saw it hit a man. My sister saw it hit somebody before that. So I think she saw it hit one of the dancing grannies. I did not see that. I just saw it hit this man, and on the passenger side front. It hit this man. And that was probably 30 or 40 feet from us.
Mhm.
And then it was coming toward us.
So it didn't stop, it kept going?
No, it kept going. Probably
So
it
it-
slowed down a little bit because it hit somebody, right, but it just kept going.
So it
My
just-
impression at the time was that it didn't care who it was hitting, it was just trying to get away from there, right? And then my friend Sarah, who was sitting on the curb, she saw it and she knew she couldn't get up fast. So then my sister came screaming, "Get out of the way, everybody move!" And she's screaming because she had seen the first hit further up. And then I stood up and I went and tried to get my family to move back, and we all tried to move back. And at this point, the truck was coming at us. And my impression was that he didn't care if he hit people. He was just trying to avoid other, like hitting vans or whatever, because he was trying to get away. So he didn't, he was kind of taking the path of least resistance, which is hitting people, is my impression. That he was definitely, we thought he was being chased or something. We didn't know what was going on, but at this point, he's coming at us. And I'm staring at him. I'm like shocked, and I'm just staring at his face. And
Okay, so now that you're staring at his face, how far away was he from you at that point?
20 feet, and I watched him till he passed.
Could you describe him?
Yes. At the time, my description of him would have been that he was either like black Hispanic mixed or like white black mixed, because lighter fared black man perhaps, or Hispanic black man. I couldn't tell. His hair was dark. It looked to me like it was kind of wavy. Now I see perhaps he's had dreadlocks, but at the time it looked to me like, like it was longer and kind of wavy. And he was holding the steering wheel, and he had looked at us as he's coming, because he's coming toward us, but he's just focused and just going. Just no expression on his face. Just like pedal to the metal, probably, going as fast as he can, just right toward us. And then as he came, right by us, he kind of veered to the inside a little bit. There's a fire hydrant right next to us. So again, I think he was trying to avoid anything that would stop him. So I think the fire hydrant saved us. And we had a street pole right next to us, a street light. So he, moved in the road a little bit to avoid hitting those things, and then kept speeding past us.
So,
then,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, and then at that point, we're all stunned, and we're looking at each other, and we're making sure we're all okay. My sister took off. She just ran up the street because she had seen, more people get hit than me. And she came back just screaming what she saw. And I just saw the one man had gotten hit. And then my husband is a nurse practitioner. So once we assessed all of us were okay, I looked at him, I said, Tim, you have to go, help people, you have to go. And he's like, yes, I do. So then he took off, and he went, and the first couple of people he got to, I guess, he couldn't save. And then he went to somebody who was one of the dancing grannies, because then later then after we got everybody cleaned up, I had my younger sister go with the kids and go out the back way to avoid seeing anything else. And then I had to go find my husband to get our keys to load up the car. And so from the point I was at I walked up the road to try to find him, and I'm looking at everybody that's on the road, and I counted 15.
15 people injured.
15 people that were either injured or dead. Oh, and my niece had grabbed my blankets. So she took my blankets, and she went, and she was covering people. So as I'm walking up, I'm seeing my blankets on people, which was amazing of her. But, obviously it makes it really personal. So then I'm going up, and I'm looking for him. And then I go up to the corner of where the bright Christmas tree is, before the steaming cup, or before People's Park. I get up to that side of the corner, and I hadn't seen him yet, and I had counted 15 people that I didn't look, couldn't describe them because I was trying not to look. I saw one woman trying to do CPR desperately, and so I got up there, counted 15 because I just couldn't believe what I saw, and then I came back a little bit and then found my husband, and he was with a woman, and she was laying still. He said that he thinks maybe she broke her skull. She just kept saying my head hurts, and but she wasn't talking a lot, and she was laying very still, and he was just trying to keep her very still. He was an ER nurse for 20 years, so he, obviously had good training. And then he stayed there, and I left with my family.
Okay, so Let me ask you a few questions to back it
Yes.
up a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, take a deep breath.
Yes.
I know you're getting emotional, which is perfectly understandable.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's water too here if you want one. During the time that you see the vehicle coming, do you think he was trying to avoid people? Do you think
No.
he was aiming at people? What's
My
your opinion?
impression was that he was trying to avoid things that weren't going to allow him to escape and didn't care if he hit people. That was my impression.
Okay, so
that-
when you say that, so
Yeah.
I don't want you to, I don't want to put
Yeah,
words in
yeah.
your mouth, right? So
Uh-huh.
correct me if what
Yeah.
I believe you're saying is that he's avoiding inanimate objects such as fire hydrant, other vehicles,
Floats.
floats,
Vans.
items that could stop his vehicle.
Yeah,
So he's avoiding those things.
right. And he doesn't care if he's hitting people because he's going up by curbs and stuff like that where people definitely are. He's not avoiding people. I
Okay.
think if he was intentionally, like, just trying to take out as many people, he would have just gone right up the curb. But I don't think he cared if he was hitting people because he was going for the curb if something else was in his way. That
Well,
was
you
my
used an
impression.
expression earlier, the path of least resistance, and that's what, you believe that that's what he was looking for?
That's what I believe.
Okay.
That he didn't care what he hit, he just didn't want to hit vehicles that would stop him and get him caught.
Do you believe that, was it your impression that he ever slowed down, that he
No.
speed up? Was
He
the
was going
speed
as fast as he could, and as soon as he got anywhere that he could, you know, like, go fast, he went as
Mhm.
fast as he could. You could tell he stepped on the gas, you know, when, you know, like, if he hit somebody, that would slow him down a little bit, right? And
Mhm.
so he was going as fast as he could. I mean, as soon as he got past the last people he hit, and it was a little bit clearer, he just stepped on it and went squealing around the corner.
Okay. To be clear, you did not take any pictures?
I did not.
You did not take any video? No. Okay.
Not before or after, I didn't know, absolutely not. My sister has one picture beforehand of this one,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't show the vehicle in the background.
Okay.
I could show you that picture.
All right. Could
but
you,
it's-
when you looked into the vehicle, was he by himself?
I only
Oh.
saw him. You know, I couldn't say if there was anyone in the back, but I only saw him. I didn't see, I know I didn't see somebody in the passenger seat. It was somebody bending down possibly, but I only saw him.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that you think I should know, I should be aware of, that I didn't ask you?
No, I think just, you know, my impression of his intent was he didn't care if he was hitting people. It was just save himself, you know, just, he was trying to avoid vehicles, trying to avoid floats. And just, like I said, he was coming right to us, and I think the only reason he veered in was because there's a fire hydrant next to us. Because my girlfriend, who has the two little boys, was sitting on the curb, and he was coming right at us, and you know, she knew she couldn't move in time, so she took her boys and she just tried to like hold them, embrace them, knowing she was gonna get hit. But then, like I said, he veered, and I'm sure it wasn't to avoid us. I think it's because there was a fire hydrant, right?
And he probably saw that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else in your group get hurt or
No, we were
No.
all fine.
fortunate? Okay.
Yeah, even this one. She's
You
so
know.
tired.
Oh, she's so peaceful. It's awesome.
She's so tired.
Yeah, oh, I bet. Let me just check. I'll make sure that I'm forgetting to ask you something. Do you recall what he was wearing when you saw him?
No,
No? Would you be able to recognize him off a picture?
I think so. I'm quite sure he's ingrained in my head.
Okay. Have you seen the pictures that they've shown on
I
TV
have.
of him?
I have.
Okay,
And when I look at those pictures, I'm like, that doesn't look like I recognize, that one doesn't, that's him. You know what I
Okay.
mean? There's certain pictures of him that
so it
he was
depends on
very-
which picture is being shown.
Yeah.
Okay. But you have recognized them amongst the pictures that
Yes.
they've been
Yes,
shown on TV?
absolutely. I saw the one picture, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's him.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was an older, there's a picture where he had his chin up that, in short hair, then I didn't recognize him, but yeah.
Okay. All right, well, if there's anything else that you can think of? All right, no? Okay.
Nothing else I can
All right, well, you have my boss's name and number,
Okay.
all right? And if you can think of something, You know, something pops in your head, then just give them a call, and I'll be happy to come and meet you somewhere and get the statement from us.
Thank you. Like I
Yeah,
said,
you're
I think
welcome.
my sister has much more vivid details in her head, so that's why we wanted to bring her. And my husband doesn't remember much about beforehand. I think he was, in shock and, oh my gosh, didn't notice, but of course he's got a lot of details from trying to.
Right, well, based on my experience, I will tell you that what happens is people with the training, like with us, even cops, they'll say they get tunnel vision.
Mhm.
Because they know that they have a mission, they have something they have to accomplish, and then they concentrate everything on that. So I'm sure his memories are basically, this happened, and then after that,
Right.
this is
right.
what
I'm
I did.
concentrating on saving this woman and.
Right, right. So at least that's been my experience
Yeah,
with
yeah.
military, police,
Military.
firefighters. They're all the same thing. It's like the mission becomes the only thing that they can see, and then they just go right for it. And I'm sure that's what probably happened with him. So.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you. and
You're very
I'm
welcome.
sure this isn't easy for you guys either.
No, but it's okay, it needs to get done, and, hopefully, it's not a lot of solace for the families, but at least we can try and do the best we can to make sure he gets, they get justice.
And I mean, we're lucky because, none of us got hurt. I can't imagine if the kids got hurt by us, I can't imagine.
And your first name is Michelle?
Michelle, it's with one L.
E at the end?
There's an E at the end, yeah.
So basically, we're investigating what happened on Sunday. We're doing a lot of interviews, so in talking to you, your husband indicated that you may have a picture from that day.
I have a picture, but I only have a picture of after the fact.
Okay,
Do you want that?
Yeah, and
I have not shared it because I feel like it's not something I wanted to,
no.
Make public, but certainly.
No, I appreciate that.
I apparently have three. I have some of our bands through crossing, but then I have right after this is the people working on the woman that was hit, and then this is where this is our chairs after we.
Those
moved
are
them
your
back.
chairs, okay.
After we moved them back.
Oh, so you were further out into the
We were
road.
much further out. So if you can see, in fact, I just stopped there today because I had to do. I felt like I had to force myself to go through, be in that area and like go through. So I did take a picture. You can kind of see. Sorry, my Latin picture of my dog. Sorry.
That's okay.
That's how things go at my house. And okay, so I came back. We were sitting, like about here, about
Okay.
halfway. So there were
In the parking area.
in that parking spot, right? Yeah. And so there was a little line of little kids right in front of us. We were behind that. I actually looked. We were lined up directly where I'm showing. Like.
And what's the name of the?
This is Art Links, I think.
Art Links?
Is that what it's called? Yes, Art Links.
All
And
right.
I actually looked. I thought, is this where we are? And I knew exactly where we were because the people next to us had chained their chairs to the post that was there earlier in the
Sure.
day, and we were just to the left of them, and they had actually left by the time this went down because they were also North parents. So.
So the pictures that you took that day, I'll get to those in a second,
Yeah.
but would you be able to airdrop them to me?
Yeah, I can.
And then, I just learned how to use that today, so.
Ooh.
And then that picture you just showed me that you took today,
Absolutely.
because that was a good point of reference.
Right now?
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
can certainly do that.
And then,
I don't know what this other one.
so the questions I'm gonna ask about your observations, if we could just keep that to what you
Absolutely.
observed that day and not, like
I
what you
totally
saw in the
understand.
news after, because sometimes it gets confusing
I can
when
only. I
you
totally
see the
understand
news
that,
after,
yeah.
and
Wait, I need to turn my
I
Wi-Fi.
understand.
Sorry. So let's make sure my Wi-Fi's back on. Yeah.
So who are you at so you went to the parade, what time did you get to parade on Sunday?
We got there about 3:30 maybe. 3:15, 3:30. I think it maybe more like 3:15 because what we actually did was we walked over then to we wanted to take pictures of our daughter who's a drum major in the Waukesha North Band, and we followed her on Life 360 to see where she was, and we walked all the way over to the library where the buses were, and then we realized, oh, they already got off the buses, now we gotta walk all the way down. So my husband didn't want to walk all the way back down. I wanted to take some pictures of the kids. So he walked back, and I walked all the way down to like Trinity Lutheran Church,
Okay,
and was down there, took some pictures. Actually, it was right after a big branch fell, and not that that's relevant or anything, but just to kind of give you a context of when I got down to there just after the branch fell, and then I thought, okay, I see the parade starting, and I gotta get in front of it. So then I kind of hustled behind all the people and got back to the right in front of Steaming Cup. I think the first two parts of, like
That's
the
where
flags,
you were seated?
We were sitting in front of Steaming Cup, yeah.
Steaming Cup?
Steaming Cup is the coffee shop right
Do you know what road that's on?
Yeah, it's right on Main. I think that I'm assuming it's the doorway is on the corner.
Okay.
It's literally like
Corner of Main and...
corner of Main and I have to look.
And it was just you and your husband at the time?
It was we were with a group, but yeah, it was just us together.
You just met the group there?
Yeah, exactly. Let me just look, see where we are. Okay, just a second, I can tell you what street that was. Oh, I bet it was right down. Okay, so it was on the corner. People's Park was across the street. Steaming Cup was there, and so that must be Clinton. Is it Steaming Cup? Yes. Okay, so it's on the corner of Main Street and People's Park. It's Main Street and Main Street and Clinton.
Clinton? No.
Clinton, and you can actually see how the cars are parked diagonally there.
That's where
and
you
we were
were.
basically sitting right in the middle of that black car.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right in front of Steaming Cup there.
Yeah, I can.
All right.
Watch.
So what time did the parade start about?
It started at 4.
Okay.
And it was pretty much on time because I was actually I was still in the queue where my daughter's group was. Sorry, that'd be my dog ringing the door to go out. You gonna let her out?
I'll let her. You wanna go outside?
So yeah, they started at 4. They
And
started.
that's when
around
you were
that
kind of
time.
hustling back.
Then I
over,
was
but-
hustling back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the incident, what did first drew your attention? What did you first see?
Actually, I would say the first thing I heard was like us screaming, and I didn't know that it was. We thought, oh, something exciting is happening to our left, so like towards the direction that the parade was coming. So heard screaming, and that's what I remember, and then seeing the vehicle come very close to us from the left to the right, accelerating. I can say that for sure.
Is that what you saw or heard?
I can say I saw accelerating. I could tell you what I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was somebody stepping on the gas, like instead of the brake, that kind of thing. That was my perception of it.
So when you saw the car, what kind of car was it?
I only saw red. That's all I can tell you. My husband can tell you I'm really bad with that.
That's all right.
Like I couldn't even tell you what my daughter drives or my son. Well, unless I buy them, but I can't tell you what the neighbors drive or anything like that. So I'm very bad with it. But it was a red car, a red vehicle, and it was.
And when you first saw it, where did you first see the car? What was it next to, or how far away from it, or you was the car?
10 feet, but off to the left, like 10 feet out, but on a trajectory maybe of a 30-degree angle.
Okay. And what did you see the car do then? You said you saw it accelerating.
It was accelerating. It was
Okay.
it wasn't just like driving along. It was like, and I did hear it. I would say I heard the vroom, and it was, trying to process it all. Like, what did you hear? What did you see? But that is, it was like, oh my gosh, this car is coming. It just sped up. That was my impression.
Was there anybody around the vehicle at the time?
There was people everywhere. I can't tell you exactly because my husband was standing much to my left. He had stood up because he thought that he wanted to see what were people excited about. They were screaming, you know, which is unusual. We've been to this parade many years. You know, we know Santa comes at the end. We know, oh, they put Santa in the middle. The reindeers get loose. You know what happened? Ooh, something super exciting. You know, and so he stood up, and so I can't tell you that I saw. That's probably why I didn't see more than, you know, the car coming more,
Okay.
because he stood up and he was there to my left.
Okay. So your vision was partially blocked by your husband standing there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think he may have stepped forward. I'm not 100% sure, but like we were sitting together in chairs, but because he stood up, like I was sitting here. We were sitting here. When he stand up, suddenly, you know, it's not like he stepped forward, but maybe he was further forward because he stood where his feet would have been.
And as the car's passing you, and speeding up, could you see inside the vehicle?
I could not.
Okay.
I didn't. I would say the windows were up. I can tell you that. I could not see inside because the windows were up.
So you have a picture of the lady getting tended to.
Yes.
Did you see what happened to her?
I did not see her.
Okay. And then as the vehicle's passing you, accelerated. As it's passing you, what did you see the vehicle do then? Were you focused on the vehicle or elsewhere?
I was actually focused on the vehicle, and so it came closer to the curb than it had been. So like,
Closer to
so
curb
like-
where you are?
yeah. So well, if this was a street and it was coming like this and it accelerated, it came in closer like this, and then kind of like it was doing it like curving in and curving out, and I thought it was like. We didn't do it. I drew that kind of crazily, but
That's all right.
like kind of this is the road, super fast like this, and then kind of in a little bit more like this, like and this is where the road comes. I don't know. Maybe he was thinking he was going to get out there. I don't.
Yeah.
You know.
So it wasn't really
and
swerving. He was kind of
he
making
was
a
like-
straight line.
Yeah,
to the,
like
okay.
this, but it wasn't like driving straight. It wasn't like this. It was like. You know, like coming in towards here. I didn't see anybody get hit here. So then I was like, okay. Then we heard a big bang, like, and in my head it was, oh, he crashed his car into something.
But you couldn't see the
I
car at
couldn't
the
see it.
time?
I couldn't see it then. No, in fact, we didn't even go down and look because we thought, oh my God, there's this woman hit, and that was when we just started everybody.
So you didn't see the woman hit until after the car was out of your sight?
Right.
And after you
I
heard
didn't
the
see
big
her, that
bang?
she was there. Yeah. Right.
So where in the, could you bring that picture
Yeah,
up?
which one?
The one,
Any of them I can bring up.
anyone is
Yeah,
fine.
sure. Just a second.
I hate to have
No,
you
it's okay.
rehash this.
No, that's okay. Okay, so sorry. Here, let's go back
The
to
street view is
yeah,
fine.
This one. Yeah, this one. Oh, that's actually a good, perfect. Yeah. Oops, sorry. Okay.
So you're sitting where the black
we're
car
sitting
is
where the
here.
black car is here, and he's
this
coming
is the main
along
street.
Here, and like instead of like just he wasn't just like driving like where that. It was like coming in like kind of like
at an angle.
yeah, at an angle, and then back out. And
Okay.
Then I wish you don't see.
And out of your sight, but then
Out of our sight.
if you're here, where did you see the lady that was laying in the road then?
Right.
By the S or
Maybe by the end.
by the end? So it's straight out from you.
Straight out from us, like in just directly in front of us.
Was anybody by her at the time?
People just ran to her. Like I by the time, you know, I mean, there were about 8 people around her by that time. I mean, by like, you know, I wasn't on CPR trained, so I backed up.
No,
And
that's-
then we grabbed our blankets and threw them on her, and I do know that there were people who I know names of people who attended to her because it's.
Oh, you know the
Yeah.
people?
I know people
Who are they?
And he was there with his wife.
They were both tending to her?
Dale was tending to her. Beer was not. Also, there was. They were both there.
Who was tending to her out of them?
No, they were
Oh, there.
they were just there. They were witnesses also. And the other person that was tending to that woman was Michelle.
And
Okay.
so when you said that when you see the car coming from the left and right, there were people. I mean, was he in the parade route itself, in the crowd of the parade, or?
He was he in the. I'm sorry, you asked was he definitely in the route, like in the on the street, definitely on the street, not jumping the curbs.
Right, and was there any part of the parade that was going through at the time that he was there, like in
Yeah,
the group
it was the okay. So the grannies had just passed us, the marching grannies or dancing grannies, and then the Citizens Bank was right after that, and the people walking there were wearing like red capes and.
from Citizens
Like,
Bank, were in red cape,
Yeah, they were wearing red capes and plaid pants.
and that's who he was next to at the time that you saw.
That's where he.
Okay,
They were next.
what time was this all about?
Oh, I don't know.
How long after the parade started would you, if you had to take a guess?
I could see what time I took my pictures of my own kid, and then see what. Oh, here Sunday, 4:49 p.m. Yeah, right there.
That's what time you took the
That's the
pics?
time I took the picture, and they were working on her for about 10 minutes. So I would say 4:39. That might be. By then, let's see. There's a car. What's this car doing here? Yeah, I'd say 4:39.
Okay.
When it happened. Because by then, all those other, like obviously the things that are left there are not all ours, and yeah. So everybody else kind of took their
And you
stuff.
could tell that the windows were up, that you heard accelerating noises,
Mm-hmm.
and did you hear people? I can't remember if you said you heard
People
people screaming.
people screaming beforehand, and then as it just kind of the screaming continued, and the whole time it wasn't like screaming and then stop and gone.
Sure. And the
Yeah.
bang you heard was more. Was it like a gunshot bang or a
No,
car accident
no, it's
bang?
like
or-
it's like car crash bang, like
Okay.
like a car hitting something.
Did you hear any gunshots at all?
I did not hear gunshots.
Okay. Anything else that you can think of that we didn't
Anything
talk
else?
about?
No. One thing I did
Oh,
observe
go ahead.
beforehand, and I don't know if this matters at all, but there was a big gap right before the grannies, which somebody pointed out to me today. Oh, well, maybe he, and this is speculation, but maybe he thought as he was like seeing an escape. Oh, like, oh look, now I got a clear shot, because there was this big gap before the grannies in my head.
Okay.
Oh, that was the only other thing I was going to mention.
All right.
This is Detective Mandy Schwartz, Detective Nate Plennis. We're here with, state your name please, sir.
Dominic.
Okay. And I know that before we started the recorded interview, you gave us a brief description of someone that had stopped up in your driveway and spoke to you. What was the conversation you had with that person?
The gentleman walked up to me in my driveway and asked me if he could use my phone for an Uber, and he seemed like he was out of breath. He wasn't wearing any tennis shoes or any shoes. He was wearing blue jeans and a red t-shirt. I did hand him my phone, and he did dial a number. He was a black male gentleman, and he had dreads that were tied up either in a rubber band or some kind of tie on top of his head.
Okay.
He was, I'd say, either 5'6", 120, 25 pounds. Younger male, like mid-20s.
Okay.
He had some tattoos on his arms. Couldn't make out what they were. But I did tell him that the next door neighbor was an Uber driver, and he then proceeded to run, took off towards West Avenue. And I didn't think nothing of it at the time. Just thought it was just another random person, and just thought I'd give you my statement.
Okay. So other than him asking to use your phone, did you have any other conversation with this gentleman?
Nope, that was it. I did turn, because he startled me, and he said he didn't have any weapons. I don't know if that has anything.
Okay.
But other than that, no.
And you said that your sons were outside with you?
Yes.
And what are your sons' names?
Uh,
Okay. Did he engage your sons at all?
no.
Oh, well, we're not on the track. So. Oh, that's great. That's fine.
And there was no talk with any of them, no communication.
No, not with them.
Anything else that stood out? I mean, you gave a relatively good description of him, but anything that stood out to you? I know you said he was out of breath, no shoes.
Just that he was, he seemed really frantic.
Okay.
That he really needed that Uber driver. And he really needed.
Let's give a second for the train to come through. It'll probably be a long one on a Sunday night, right? Maybe we can still hear each other here, but what direction did he come from, if you remember?
My oldest son said that, because I had my back turned to him, he said that he came from the downtown area or from the east side of Central, like more like Maple, heading west towards that way.
Okay.
Towards my house.
Okay. And then when you said that he had left, and you told him that your neighbor was in Uber, did he go to the neighbor's house?
I don't know if he really understood me, what I was trying to tell him.
Okay.
But he did take off running towards West Avenue on foot.
Okay. Okay.
At that time.
And I know that he took a picture of your phone log, but do you remember about what time that was tonight?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock?
Yeah,
Okay.
around there.
Okay. Anything else that you can think of that stands out, or?
Not really. Like I said, it was. I guess I really wasn't looking for anything.
Yeah,
So I mean,
I get that.
I did notice, and then well, that's all I got.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I appreciate you talking to us.
Please keep the victims and witnesses in your thoughts and prayers. I have included a link to the Waukesha Community Foundation Fund if you would like to learn how you can support the victims impacted by this tragedy. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day.